Today our topic is time management. It seems there is never enough time in the day, but since there it seems there's enough time in the day, but since some we have the same 24 hours, why is it that some people achieve so much more with their time than others? The answer lies in good time management. The highest achievers can manage their time exceptionally well. By using time management techniques, we can increase our ability to manage time, even when time is tight and our sessions are tight. Good time management requires an important shift in focus from activities to results. Being busy isn't the same as being effective. Spending a day in a frenzy of activity may spend less effective. But good time management will help you increase your work efficiency. And good time management means you work smarter, not harder. You can get more done in less time. What is time management? Time management refers to the way you plan and organize how long you spend on specific activities. It seems counterintuitive to spend your precious time to learn about time management, but its benefits are enormous. From good time management, you will get greater productivity and efficiency, a better professional reputation, less stress, increased opportunities for advancement, greater opportunities to achieve important life and career goals. The poor time management will have some bad consequences, such as missed deadlines, inefficient workflow, poor work quality, a poor professional reputation, and a stalled career, higher stress levels. So today our learning objective is you can complete you can increase your own life immediately to learn one tips and list.
Okay, so what we're going to do is time management is really, really broad, and no one agrees on time management, right? So every single one of you might do it differently. You might all be successful. So we have kind of like a framework and specific examples. Your goal is to pick one thing that works for you and hopefully apply it and be successful and just discard the rest because it won't make sense. So we're going to talk about school work. We're going to play a fun game with some balls. And if we're successful, you have one thing and you can discard the rest. So one framework that's really effective is David Allen's Getting Things Done. He sold a couple million books. He's a really well-known consultant. You kind of take it. His main principle is around tagging actions and eliminating kind of open loops. Basically, the idea is to write stuff down. The important part is he manages attention. So he wants to free up the brain, right? So that just means like not dropping any balls. So if you're a really junior person, really the worst thing that can happen is you forgetting to do something. So his system is really, really good for that because anything that comes in gets tagged and then placed somewhere and kind of measured. And we'll talk about dropping balls and measure activity. So we'll talk about like general principles for implementing this, and I'm going to show you my to-do list. I'm a little embarrassed, but maybe that'll help. Maybe you'll find it helpful. So what gets captured? So everything above like 2 minutes. So for me, get lunch is on there, right? Get lunch or do this presentation or whatever. Every single thing gets captured so that your brain de-stresses. It gets calm. Intermediate steps, like do a draft or send a draft to my boss, give comments, and stuff gets crossed off every day. And then you prioritize them either by big tasks or by location or any other system that you have. And then you also write stuff that you're waiting for. So I'll write WTF Eugene, send me the model. Basically what you're trying to achieve is just to like eliminate it out of your brain, right? You don't want your boss thinking, okay, when is Long Wai going to send me that thing? Because he worries that you're just going to kind of forget about it. Mm-hmm. And then at the end of every day, and this is probably the most important part, you rewrite your list. So you take your list, you see what's not done, what's not crossed off, you spill it over, and you plan your next day. And that kind of creates a system. So we'll kind of talk about that. So here's a really good day for me. On my really busiest days, I probably have 65 things on my list. All of them are pretty small. And on my best days, I do 35 things. Right? Some of these are really tiny, so these are purposely blurry, so kind of mind it. This is like one of my best days ever. Right? The important thing is, if I told you 60 things, Mary, you might finish 20 of them, but there's no way you remember the rest. And you kind of think, okay, what do I got to do? What's important? What's prioritized? And they're all like right there. So the David system is effective in a really kind of caveman way. And then you've always got your notebook, you're always writing stuff, you're always crossing it off, and people trust you, right? So here's another one that's kind of blurry. And here's another one. Another thing to apply is to like send an end-of-day email to your boss. So this is helpful if you're more junior, and it's like, here's what I work on today. Boom, 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 boom. And you have your list. And it closes your open loop, right? So your boss knows that like, if they don't hear from you, you give them an update on where all the projects are. He doesn't have to reach out to you. Provide a status that actually gets what you're doing. It just reduces his stress. He doesn't have to think about like what's Susan doing, right? It's just really nice. As you become more advanced in your career, maybe do it weekly, or some C-level people do it maybe once a quarter. The benefits are it forces you to rewrite your list every day. It articulates when you get stuck, because when you rewrite, I need to draft my professional development plan for the 7th straight day on your to-do list, it annoys you. So it's a very specific kind of ingrader, and it helps you ask for help. Right? So it's like, hey, Joe, I've been working on this, I can't get it done. It's the 3rd day. And it allows you to plan. In the long term, it helps you ask for promotion because you can clearly articulate what you've done. When planning time, and this is the last slide before I pass it back, this is my calendar. I keep it on a big screen in my office. When I do my list, then I think about, okay, what time do I actually need to do? So orange for me is a meeting, yellow is a call, green is do work. Purple is like external activity, red's like an important thing like a board meeting, and then green's like a block where I can kind of do work or take calls. So your list kind of forms your calendar, and it's like, oh no, I don't have enough time to do this tomorrow. So it kind of forces your So really big framework, but really specific things of writing everything down. And I'm going to give it back to some exam strategy.
Okay, next I will introduce you my exam strategy in the last semester. For me, from March 27 to April 9, are super busy 2 weeks for me. I have different kind of things to do, like VITA, auditing exam, normal class, quiz, assignment project. And I think many of you choose the same class like me, and you can understand what I concern most are the tax project and auditing project and auditing assignments. I think the most important thing to do them under tight deadline. You can see I just from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, since I have to make some appointment with the BCC center, so I just have 5 days to complete almost 2 big projects. So the first thing I will do is to figure out what the requirement of the project, the meaning the professor wants us to handle. For example, for the test project, I think Professor Garmino wants us to read the complicated tax regulations by ourselves because I think he wants us to cultivate our research ability. This ability is very important in the future career, especially if you choose to do the tax-relevant jobs. And the second one, Professor Fuller wants us to read 21 pages from PCAOB. But since she focuses more on the textbook, he wants us to combine the textbook knowledge with the real case in the life. And that, my solution to the project is the tax laws are very complete and hard to understand. If I could understand, I would delete it to the last minute. So what I will do is, what I did is to read relevant articles read by the other CPAs. Just Google the 199A. There were some articles. You will read them and understand and write by your own. And for the auditing, I don't think there are some shortcuts, just read and write. But the point is, don't miss any details, but still important information. Please understand the requirement from the professor, because during the assignment, I find not a good habit, especially under the deadlines. Unexpected things will happen. Not every time I will got that lucky. And the second thing is, on the positive way, is an important ability to work on the tight deadline. What I did is calm down and focus. Don't think about I don't have time, these kind of things. Just focus and did your job. And then during the work, if you got focus, you will more effective and efficient. And you never know how big your potential ability is. I would like to share an example of my friend who is she's a accounting student, an international student like us. She got her sponsorship from her employer. The first year, unluckily, it didn't get the H-1B lottery. So she has to sustain her legal status in the United States. So she go to the Dallas Baptist University and got another master. So she's a full-time student, 3 regular classes, but she worked full-time. In the same year, she passed all her exams and got the certificate. Okay, and next my team will share other some experiments.
Okay. Last book thing, and then we'll play with the balls, promise. There's a really, really good book called Triggers. It's more like a life philosophy. Don't want to spend too much time on it. But the CEO of GM, the CEO of Pfizer, the CEO of Target, and the CEO of Best Buy, like all wrote books on it. It's kind of how about to live your life. What I took away from it is just being purposeful and managing energy. And the part that he really states is real accomplishments are the things that happen daily and are recurring. Jack Ma of Alibaba actually uses the system because I don't think know about the system, but he tracks things that happen daily and he thinks about it in terms of, did I do my best to, right? So, did I do my best to be healthy? So what that means is, if you have a late day at work and you're feeling sick, did I do my best to be healthy? It might just mean stretching and like trying to eat healthy. If it's a Saturday and you got nothing to do, did I do my best to be healthy? It means like maybe running or going to the gym and doing a lot. So it's a function of where you are at that time, the resources that you have and the opportunity in front of you. And it's just a function of like, did I do my best? Right? Did I really try? Was I willing to make the investment required to make a positive difference on this topic? So I'll give you 2 examples that he gives in the book. One is someone that he helped, and the other one is Marshall's, and then we'll play with balls. So this is Emily's daily question. So her questions were, did I do my best to stick to my juice cleanse? Right? So she gave herself a 10. That doesn't mean she actually probably finished the juice cleanse. It just means she tried her best. And it's very different from kind of how we set goals for ourselves, right? Get an A or do whatever. And you see you have some other ones. Marshall, on the other hand, has more detailed ones. He's a very expensive consultant. So he has made progress towards goal achievement. The one that I found more interesting and I really took away from was, did I do my best to say or do something nice for Linda, who's his wife, right? Like so purposeful, like about his actions and his activities. Just really interesting how he thinks about it. And then he tracked it with a spreadsheet. I've done this actually. He pays someone $1 a day to have someone call him and ask him questions. I think that's a little intense, but it's good. It's good discipline. So pretty interesting. You might like this, you might not. It takes a long time to like tailor the questions to yourself. Okay, so the in-class activity is related to communication. You can win something, you have fun. Basically, I'm going to throw a ball. When I throw the second ball, if you have a ball, you throw it. Whoever has a ball at the end of the game gets to keep the ball. Okay? So, Eugene? Well, when I throw. So, professional communication. You got it. So you gotta like throw at someone in your class. You should know each other's names by now. You gotta make eye contact. Right, you gotta communicate across cultures. Alright. Jim? You should throw 20. So I think you gotta get the ball from the back row. You gotta communicate.
Nick. So we want everyone to have a ball? Everyone knows Nick's name now. James.
Yes.
All right, last two.
Mary, Mary.
All right, so like when I throw, you throw, so you should be funneling the ball back. Should be a communication exercise.
All more near
Well, I haven't really thought this through. All right, so who has a ball? Stand up, you have a ball. Okay, so okay, full on every rub. That was our activity. Communicate and try to win something. I'm gonna give it back and talk about the time management apps.
Then I will introduce some management applications about time management. The first one is Google Calendar. It's very simple. It's just about your Gmail address, and you can list in the application on your phone, and also you can log in on the Google website. The second one is called time access test on the iPhone. This is the example. There are 4 parts: journal, notes, to-do list, and the calendar. What I like most is there's a finish one and unfinished. So it's very clear what you did and what you left. Okay, the third one is timing. I like it most, but it's a Chinese application, so I try to translate some most important function. Okay, the first one is your friend circle. You see, highlight. Like the fourth one, friend Paul, she takes the US EPA. Maybe she's a student in the United States. And the second one is weekly study hours. It will go to 0 on the Monday night, and will start from 0 on the Monday. So it can inspire you when you got lazy and don't want to do anything. And the third one is all about yourself. What's your target, your total study days, daily study days, or some study plan, what you did today, what you did yesterday, something like this. I found this is also useful because there's a competition between you and your friend. Okay, then I will make a summary for us.
So did you just finish our objective? And did you learn at least one thing? I think time management is important to us. And if we are willing to dedicate our time and effort to improve our time management, we will perform much better than before. And thanks for listening. And any questions?
Okay, we'll take 2 questions. Anyone have a question for them?
I have a question for both of them. So I saw your to-do list is very impressive. So long.
Those are my best days. It clearly says like best day. Feels like a year's work.
My question is when do you do the list before the day or several days before the day, or you add anything coming to your mind when you think about that?
No, so it's a daily list, right? So that example, that 65 things, I did 30. So 30 spill over, and I'll get another 15 or 20 that day. And you try to like whittle it down. The harder part is making sure your quarterly goals, you make time for the big rocks. So that's the harder part. But you do it every night. It's just really nice, like going home, seeing a bunch of red, knowing kind of what you have to do tomorrow, and like knowing how the day's gonna start, right? Like some NBA coaches do this, where they kind of script out the first couple plays. Just get into a flow before stuff starts hitting you. So every night is the answer, but then you add stuff as the day goes on.
How long it will take you to write the list? I think it's also costs some time, right?
Yeah, no, for sure. So I'd probably stay an extra 5 to 10 minutes longer, but it's helpful because I'm planning the next day. So like I don't know what the ROI is on that. I guess it just depends. But most days it's like 5 or 6 things or 10 things spill over, so it's not that bad.
One more question? Anyone? Yeah. Kelly.
So Bogdan, for the kind of multitasking is kind of like the time management. So when you do something and you, in the middle of you doing something and you got interrupted by something, So do you like write it down, or how do you usually do that, or when do you do the list?
Yeah, no, the book recommends if it's something that takes sub 2 minutes, you just do it. I don't like doing that. So for me, it's like 30 seconds. So if someone calls, it's like, hey, can you send me an email with this attachment? It takes me 30 seconds to find. I'll do it. But if it's like, hey, can you type an email? I'll like write it on my list. I don't like being distracted. I like blocks of time to think. So I think it depends. I think the book recommends 2 minutes. If a task is shorter than 2 minutes, you do it. If it's longer, you put it on your list. I really think it depends on you, on like your personal style. Cool.
Okay. So feedback, let's start with Golden Gate. Who was the person that did the feedback for Golden Gate? Jada? Okay.
I think the app and the context about the time management is a good idea for us to improve our time management. But I think one thing they can improve is they can present more vividly.
Okay.
I know Lena is a little bit nervous. And
Okay.
so if she can present more logically, I think that would be
Okay.
better.
Okay. Let's see. Easylytics. Was that you, Jimmy?
This is super stressful, by the way.
Well,
Is it stressful? Aren't you glad you're done, though?
Yeah.
yeah, I think PowerPoint is very good, but I think there's some pictures not clearly. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're blurry
They did that on
to
purpose so you didn't
incorporate.
see all his secrets.
Oh, it's a very simple idea. That's one for like get lunch, right? Like,
Yeah.
it's just embarrassing, so.
Yeah, and I also think Lena can add more body language. That's it. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Tech enabler. William?
I think the topic is quite clear, and the explain of the close topic is really tough. So I can understand what you try to explain, and I think the whole argument is quite strong, so quite persuasive. I will do it tonight. So I think that most of the things good, but however, the tone is not, the whole European tone is not equal. So the ladies may be a little bit weak when you try to persuade somebody your idea. I think it was something that maybe can make you approve. Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of it is the level of your voice, maybe trying to project it a little bit more. Both of you talk a lot. I mean, Bogdan has a louder voice than both of you. And when you see the video, you're going to see kind of what we're talking about. Projecting that voice coming up to the audience more would be helpful for that. And then a lot of it is just practicing it more. You guys did not have a lot of time to do that, and I'm going to take that into account. Yeah, I think a lot of that comfort, that confidence comes from being able to practice it more, and y'all didn't have a lot of chance to do that. So I mean but that is definitely a good point to bring up. Design remodel pros.
I think the presentation based on the context is perfect because it's really informative, and no matter theories or practical apps, I've really learned a lot. Like you guys introduced 2 different books, the Getting Things Done and Triggers, and I know that 3 different apps. And I really love the examples that Bogdan gave us. It's really vivid. It kind of pull us closer to them, so we can actually get our own ideas of how to manage our own time. And yeah, in fact, I think it's really close to a workshop. And yeah, I can really learn something from that. So for the opportunity part, like Professor mentioned earlier, the voice at the beginning, all 3 of you, the voice is kind of small, and I think the pitch could be higher, and I think you should try to make more eye contact when you're speaking. And there's one other thing that I noticed
I think you're not quite familiar with the whole presentation because I've noticed that when somebody is speaking, others are not quite focused. They're just preparing for the rest. And that is on the stage so the audience can see clearly.
So tell me, what is one thing that you learned today that you might want to apply to your life?
Get a Google Calendar.
Google Calendar, yeah. Okay. Cybert Studios?
Yes, I think overall it's a really good presentation and you guys share some useful tips. And I know I could download some apps to track my time. And I really like the calendar for the bad day because it's really, I like to see that someone who is much busier than me, so I think I can still survive. And I think the one thing that you can improve is maybe you can resize the content of the PowerPoint slide. Give some tips, so I think it's much smaller and I can see the work.
Okay. What did you learn, or what's something that you learned from them that you might incorporate into your life, Sue?
Yes, because I don't have the apps to track my time, but I have a lot of things I need to do every day, so I think that's brilliant.
So like write it down?
Yes.
Do it that way?
Time the things I need to do. So.
Time it, yeah. That's a good idea. ACU construction?
I thought the content about time management is very plentiful in their presentation, and I love their PowerPoint because it's very logical. They have the title, subtitle, bulletin points, and Bogdan gave us his specific experience about time management. And I just thought the tutorials a little bit should be aggressive and just have some interaction with the audience. Yeah, that's all. And what I learned from their presentation is that Bogdan gave us like a relaxed park, just throw ball. Yeah, it can make connection with the audience and also makes the atmosphere relax. Yeah.
Okay. Heavenly Mimi?
Yeah, I like your way to manage your PowerPoint because it seems like very systematically. In most of your pages, you use 2 to 3 boxes and contains the different parts. So it is more structured, and I like the number you mentioned on the top. So you showed every step of each part of your and which step you are present right now, so the audience can easily to follow. I like this, and I just have one question. So I like your bouncing ball part, but I can't figure out what the relationship with your time management.
Well, so it's kind of embarrassing. In my first job out of college, in my employment contract, I had to work like 60 hours a week, otherwise you get fired. So that's crazy like time management thing on my computer. So I always like try to figure out like how to be productive and like basically not get fired. So it tends to be like kind of annoying. I wanted like a high energy thing, like people throwing balls and interacting and kind of like break out of it. I don't think it fully works. That like Eugene said, I didn't fully think about the fact that all the balls would be flying in the air simultaneously. And we didn't really plan for it appropriately. So it's supposed to be a high energy. You say someone's name, you interact with them. It didn't work out. So yeah.
Okay, R&R tax. Oh, did you have anything else, Christian? That was everything, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so no, you didn't answer the part about what are you going to incorporate from what they did. Is there something you learned that you might try to do for time management?
Yeah, because I have a problem with my time management. When I got too many issues, I got stressed out. Yeah, so their own experience can give me lots of suggestions. So I maybe get more relaxed when I get more tasks.
So calm down a little bit more. Yeah. Okay, R&R tax, James?
This is our Tetra tax.
Tetra tax.
We think this group is overall is very good because they describe very clearly and speak very deliberately and give lots of interaction, such as someone who dropped the ball. Yeah. And I think the drawback is the same because the volume of ladies too slow. I cannot hear, and also I think the word on PowerPoint is a little too small, and I cannot see. But you prepare just for 1 week, so I think you must do very well on your time.
Okay. So a couple of thoughts that I had. Does anyone have any idea how many slides they had, other than the team? So they had 34 slides. And to cover in 12 minutes is very difficult. Did you guys know it was 12 minutes that you would have?
We weren't sure if it was 12 or 25, so we...
Okay, so you had enough for 12 to 25 minutes.
Yeah,
okay.
so basically there's 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. There's like 11 of these little slides.
Yeah.
And there's 2 covers. So really it's like 18 slides of content. It's too much for 12 minutes.
It's really too much for 12 minutes is what I was trying to get to. I mean, we got to about D, ID, MBT, and you were pretty much done on time. We didn't stop it because I know y'all are the first ones. So just be very aware of the time, 12 minutes. Be simple. I think if anything I would say about your presentation is simplify it a little bit. And then I want to see more of this from the other teams. Say it, say it, say it. You tell us what you're going to tell us, then you tell us in detail, and then summarize it. So, for example, when Lena kind of summarized it, she goes, "Did you learn something?" Well, that's a little bit different than what I would want us to do. I think what I would have liked to have seen there is, so what we're suggesting for time management is write it down, have a schedule, check off your box, and these are the, and here's some app, and you are using an app. So I think kind of summarizing that and buckling it down would have made it a little bit more clear, I think, for me. So when you're doing a presentation, the other thing I want you to think about is, what is the purpose of the slide? How does this slide help me? What am I trying to give to the audience? What is it that I'm trying to explain? If it's time management, I think you guys did a good job because you showed how Bogdan does his time management for his job and his overall career. You showed us how to do time management for studying, which was really good. You showed us some other tips and tricks that you had. So, I mean, I think that was it. That was good because you were thinking about your audience, but really try to simplify. I think you had too many words on the page, too much that you had memorized, and you can do more with pictures. You can do more with, so I think comparing the two, the first presentation was a lot of pictures and not a lot of words, and I think maybe made the team a little bit more relaxed. When you have all the words up there, it can become a bit more stressful. So I would just explain, try to simplify it, make more eye contact, say it, say it, say it. And, but I'm very proud of you guys for getting up there and pleased that you did this. This is amazing for 1 week of preparation. That's basically what you had. So I'm going to be very lenient on the fact that your time was long. I'm going to be very lenient on that. And then you guys get to sit back and you don't have to worry about this till the end of the semester. So good job.